Hello everyone, I'm Harvey and welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel. As you can see, I finished 4th overall and 1st in England in the 2021 season in FPL, and I would like to share some tips and tricks to help you along your FPL journey. Let's dive straight into it. So looking back at my game week 12 points, so I got 56 points, which was 7 above the average of 49. Salah basically saved my week really, chipping in with those 2 goals against Southampton away. And he did drop out of the 3 bonus points because he took his shirt off to celebrate a goal. So he only came away with 13 points, but again, it's another double-digit haul, and that's just silly because he's now accumulated over 100 points and he's on track for something like 380 points this season, which is ridiculous. He won't continue those returns, I don't think, but for now, he's just probably the best player to own in FPL. And that's evident in my game week points really, because apart from Raya and GABRIEL getting a clean sheet and Strand Larsen chipping in with 1 assist, it was a pretty bad week. And as you can see, João Pedro's on my bench with 12 points. I did see him getting just over 60 minutes, as I said in my previous video, but he actually got a goal and assist and 3 bonus in the 63 minutes that he played, so it kind of backfired. We came away with a 12-pointer at Bournemouth away, which Arsenal and City have lost to in that same fixture this season. So yeah, in hindsight, probably, definitely the wrong decision, but I'm sticking to my guns. And yeah, I thought that Strand Larsen would outperform him, and because I thought his expected minutes were higher, and they were actually, because he actually played 90 minutes in the end. So he did chip in with an assist in stoppage time in that game, but you'll see that I prefer another Wolves forward called Cunha, who came away with a 16-pointer in that fixture. And yes, I didn't own him, and it's likely that he will be joining my team this week. But yeah, really poor game week really, but I still stayed above the average thanks to Salah being the captain. But yeah, obviously Semenyo's got his 5th yellow card now, so he's suspended for the Wolves away game. It's a bit of a dilemma with him because I think he's going down in price overnight on Friday. So yeah, he might leave the team this week, and you'll see my transfer plans later on in the video. But yeah, it's just annoying that he got that yellow card before Wolves away, because I was going to play him. But yeah, obviously Haaland, he's again disappointed, and if you're still wondering whether to sell or not, I will be selling him this week, just because for a £15.1 million asset, he's not performing to that price tag. As you can see, he hasn't got a double-digit haul since game week 4, and he's actually only got, I think it's 3 goals in 9 game weeks. Is that? Yeah, so that's a lie, 8 game weeks. So yeah, it's not worth £15 million or £50.1 million, depending on how much you spent on him. So I think the funds are better distributed elsewhere in the team, and it makes your team a lot better if you do sell him. So yeah, he will be leaving the team this week. And obviously on the bench, I actually played the right defenders in the end, so I chose to go for Aït-Nouri over Robinson, despite them playing each other, and obviously I gained 2 points with that decision, so that's good. But yeah, the main glaring mistake that I made was putting João Pedro on the bench, despite bringing him in last game week, but at least I've got him for the future now. But yeah, on to the next one. So looking at my team for this week, obviously you can tell that I've made 2 transfers already, and I've actually sold Erling Haaland. So Cunha's come in, and I got him when he was 6.8, I believe, which is earlier on in the week. And I sold Haaland when I had 0.2 million in his assets. So basically I gained a few 0 millions in the bank, which is good. But obviously Cunha comes in off the back of 2 double-digit hauls, and just overall his general play, he's easy on the eye. And yeah, he's just outperforming most forwards in the game at the moment, and he's only 7 million. So yeah, he's in, and I believe he's on penalties as well. And just look at those sea of green fixtures coming up. So for the next 5 fixtures, they're all green. And then he hits another tricky spell. Wolves' fixture run is kind of comical, really, because at the start of the season it was terrible, and it's good at the moment, but as you can see from 18 onwards it becomes terrible again. But yeah, he's come in. He's obviously, I'm going to keep him for at least 6 game weeks, and then maybe look to move him on before those difficult fixtures come in. But yeah, for now, I believe he's probably the best striker to bring in the game at the moment. And second is João Pedro, who does make the starting 11 this week, despite benching him last week for that 12-pointer. Again, he's probably the second best striker to own in FPL at the moment, just because of the value, 5.7, and he's likely to be on penalties. And over the busy Christmas period, I'm not sure if he'll get a lot of minutes, but I think he will start tonight against Southampton at home. At the time of recording, it's Friday afternoon, so yeah, hopefully he will start that game and come away with another double-digit haul when I've actually started him. But yeah, again, if you're looking to bring either João Pedro or Cunha in, I'd prioritise João Pedro if I were you, because he's more of a long-term hold rather than Cunha, who obviously you're having for the next 5 game weeks at least, and then you'll look to moving on. So, and João Pedro is 1.3 million cheaper at the moment. So yeah, I'll definitely bring him in over Cunha, despite Cunha being probably the best forward in FPL at the moment for price per points, or points per price. So yeah, it's up to you really, but those 2 are the ones to prioritise. Obviously, Strand Larsen still makes my team. I've been wanting to move him out for the last couple of game weeks, but well, I brought him in against Southampton at home, and yeah, that was probably a mistake in hindsight. So he will be moving on eventually, but for now he's got decent fixtures, as you saw with Cunha. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to him for the foreseeable future, and then possibly move him on to Isak in game week 14 or 15. 15 because they have Liverpool in 14. So yeah, I'll look to move him on to Isak, or maybe Jackson, who he's on 4 yellow cards, but if he doesn't get that yellow card before then obviously I might go to Isak instead, because that just puts me off Jackson, the 4 yellow card thing. So yeah, they're the 4 top forwards to own in FPL at the moment. So that's Cunha, João Pedro, Isak and Jackson. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the team, obviously the midfield speaks for itself, and I've actually brought in Saka and sold Semenyo this week. It was a difficult call between him and Rodgers, but as to who I was selling this week, but I just think Rodgers' short-term fixtures that I need him for are a lot better than Semenyo's, as you'll see in a second. But Tielemans actually, or Tielemans, actually missed a penalty in their Champions League fixture. In the Premier League fixture last weekend. So yeah, he might. That might mean that Morgan Rodgers is on penalties. So a 5.4 million midfielder for Aston Villa who might be on penalties. There is John McGinn who could take them off him, but I can't see Watkins taking them because his penalty record is horrific, really. So Rodgers has a chance of getting penalties for a cheap price as well. And yeah, in terms of the fixtures that I'm referring to, I don't need him in 17, so I'm not bothered about that Man City at home fixture. But the 3 before that, maybe just 2 before that, Brentford at home and Southampton at home, they're the ones that I'm interested in for rotation purposes. But yeah, looking beyond that, obviously Newcastle away is not an easy fixture, so maybe not in 18 as well. But if you look either side of those Arsenal and Man City fixtures, they actually look pretty decent up until 25. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to him for the foreseeable future, and obviously if something happens, then I will sell him in the future game week. But yeah, Semenyo left the team this week just purely because he got suspended, and I didn't really fancy playing Rodgers instead of him, so I had to make a transfer, and so in comes Saka. I just think that he is, if you're redistributing the funds from Haaland, I think he is the priority to bring in. He's just so attacking, and now Martin Odegaard back. They're both linking up so well, and he's just a menace on that right wing. And he's also on penalties as well and corners. So he's everything you want in FPL. And the fixtures coming forward just basically speak for themselves. Apart from game week 24. Either side of that, they're just really good up until the end of the season, really. So he's a long-term hold, and he obviously has come into the team this week. Gabriel, obviously, he's got a flag at the moment. He came off early in the Champions League fixture midweek against Sporting. I think he'll be fine. Obviously, Arteta doesn't reveal much in his press conferences, but yeah, he's basically said he got a knock, and he came off like 6 minutes early. I think that was just to rest him for the upcoming schedule. But yeah, I'm not too worried about him. So he is in for this week, and obviously Robertson and Konsa, if either of them play, they can just rotate in if for whatever reason Gabriel doesn't make this game week. But yeah, I'm not overly fussed. But yeah, in terms of my captaincy choice, obviously Mbeumo's got the armband at the moment. That's just because I think that most people will go for Palmer or Salah, despite Salah having City at home. I just see that Mbeumo's obviously got the plum fixture this week, and although his returns have been lacking in the past 3 game weeks, I think it's accumulated like 0.09 expected goals, which is pretty poor for obviously 0.09 in that game alone. And then Everton away is always a hard fixture, but he got 0 expected goals, which isn't great, but I think he'll bounce back. And you will notice a pattern previously where against Ipswich at home he scored 15 points, and Southampton at home he scored 14. So he's always done well at home against newly promoted teams. So I'm backing Mbeumo this week just as a different captain, because I've always gone for either Palmer, Salah or Haaland. So yeah, just a bit of a differential, even though he's 40% owned, 41% owned. So yeah, obviously he's the captain this week. Palmer's probably the second best in my opinion, and then Saka, and then Salah. I've seen lots of people captain Salah, but I know City have been shaky recently, and I know that his points are just ridiculous. But again, it's probably the most difficult fixture they're going to face in the calendar. So I can see City getting a result against Liverpool, but that might be just wishful thinking. But yeah, Mbeumo is the captain. That's the team for this week, and hopefully we'll get a decent week because we've been waiting for one. But yeah, good luck with your teams as well. Thank you for watching this episode. If you could please like, subscribe and comment on what I should do next, that would be great. See you in the next one.